People of Reddit, what was the most NSFW event you ever stumbled upon in high school? Not me specifically, but two kids in my Catholic high school f***ed in the bathroom and someone caught them and videotaped it. They also posted it online. Our school made the news and now they measure girls' skirts if they look too high, as well as banning phones. Are we not going to talk about how and why there was a camera in the bathroom that recorded this? Also, pretty ridiculous that the school thinks that banning short skirts will solve the problem of teenage hormones. Brilliant. Not me, but a friend of mine who was a yearbook photographer. She was a rail-thin, awkward, geeky high schooler and was asked to photograph a day in the life of the swim team. Our school had the football fever, so other sports were always trying to get more than a few mentions in the yearbook, packed with dozens of football shots. So, my friend showed up to the swim team practice and later state tournament. She was asked to join them at their victory party, which was at someone's house, with its own pool and hot tub. When she got there, most of the team was already drunk and not an adult in sight. There were also a lot of girlfriends of the team there, and more than once, my friend was asked to join them naked in the hot tub. Sex was pretty freely flowing, and she strived constantly to get acceptable photos instead of the wanton depravity all around her. At one point, some naked girl was chugging while she was in the cowboy position, screwing on top of her boyfriend, while everyone cheered her on. They kept begging my friend to take photos, and she refused in horrified shock. Some of the girls got really handsy with her until finally she picked a time when they were distracted and she left. She later was crying to her best friend because she felt so stressed out, and it was like nothing like she expected. Sort of like showing a 10-year-old Caligula while they were expecting Toy Story 2. Only one photo made it to the yearbook from that party, which was a hot tub photo where she had to crop out the beer keg and everybody's body was below the waterline, so you couldn't tell they were naked. You wanted to live in the high-speed world of yearbook photography. Be careful what you wish for. Also, this sounds pretty old-fashioned of me, but where are the parents? Not just the parents who own the house, but none of these other parents seems to have an issue with this party going on. A freshman got jerked off by his girlfriend under the table in the cafeteria during lunch. Someone sitting near them noticed what was happening, took a video, and posted it online. The administration quickly found out, the video was taken down, and all three involved were suspended. 8th grade sex ed, teacher showed us a video of a woman giving birth. Very close-up shots, very graphic and very disturbing to most 8th graders. Weird kid in the class tucks his arms into his shirt and starts jerking it to the fully dilated lady part being shown on the 200-inch projector screen. Now, I can't think of a more effective form of birth control than to make kids going into high school watch that video. I think it would be a good dose of reality for them to see what could happen if they sleep around too much and act without thoughts of the consequences. I ran cross-country in high school, and sometimes during practice we would run through trails in the woods surrounding the high school. One day, right after school ended, we started running down the trails and stumbled upon two students having sex. Judging by their reactions, I don't think they were expecting a group of 15 guys to run by while they were getting it on. We always threw house parties at my friend's house. One day, I went to grab my jacket from one of the rooms and I heard some moaning and groaning, so I thought it was just a couple hooking up. I flipped the lights on because I couldn't find my jacket and saw that 3 of the track girls were butt naked, finger banging and eating each other out. Instead of just standing there and watching or trying to participate, my nerdy high school self said hi, waved, and said have fun as I walked out giving them privacy. Later on that year, I ended up dating one of those girls and would always try to mention it and maybe try to get a threesome going. Never happened though. She said it was just a drunk moment. Good for this guy for being all chill and cool about it, but I wonder if he regrets not trying to get in on the action. I would like to think that this fact haunts him at night, thinking about what could have been a legendary moment in his youth. Walked into a bathroom after school and found a guy and a girl about to go to town. She had her shirt off and skirt up and he had his pants down. I caught them just before the moment of insertion. I said nothing. I would have left them to it, except all the other bathrooms on campus, except this one, were always locked shortly before last bell. So, I silently walked to a urinal, calmly did my business, properly washed my hands, and by the time I went to leave, the girl was hiding in a stall and the guy was waiting by the door. I shrugged at the guy shrugged back, and I left and heard the door lock behind me. Not one of us said anything or made a sound during the entire exchange. This would have been a great opportunity for an epic salute as the guy walked out of the bathroom, maybe combined with a Jeremiah Johnson type head nod. Guaranteed that dude about to get freaky would have remembered that for a long time. I went to a small party at my friend's house. My girlfriend and I got there late. We went in and noticed nobody was in the living room. Weird. They said they'd be there. Start walking to the back and I could hear several voices in the bedroom. I just opened the door and there were 7 of my friends just having a casual orgy. In band before a football game, I went into the percussion room to hang out with the homies. Everyone is huddled around this one dude in the corner of the room laughing, so of course I walk over to check it out. Turns out the dude was showing everyone how tiny his dick is, and everyone was so fascinated. And yeah, it was really, really small. Like from the tip of your pinky to the first knuckle down. I've never seen anything like it. Hey, kudos for that guy for being comfortable to share his deformity. The first step is always acceptance. And at least it seems that the other onlookers were just curious and fascinated and not so much actually mocking him. I went to a boarding school my freshman year of high school, and a few weeks in, I volunteered to help walk our librarian's dog for her while her leg was healing after an injury. So, I was walking this huge dog through the woods around campus when he suddenly sniffed the air and just ripped the leash right out of my hands and took off into the underbrush. I started chasing him after that when I heard screaming and yelling. I thought, oh God, this dog just mauled someone and I'm gonna get expelled. I broke through a clearing and there were 5 half-naked upperclassmen trying to put their clothes back on and scatter while this dog is joyously barking and jumping up and licking them. Totally accidentally interrupted an orgy in the woods with my librarian's dog. Edit. I guess since so many people are asking, yes, it was a co-ed school and yes, both sexes were represented. All right, I'll take things that didn't happen for 400, Alex. So you're telling me that this group of students just happened to be in the same area of the woods where this guy randomly walks the dog? And then after that, they all jointly agree to have the random dog that they found perform sexual acts on them? My bullshit meter is off the charts here. So I'm in this theater class and have been helping the teacher out with a lot of tasks, like setting up the green room and stuff, just helpful stuff. Well, apparently one of us left the door unlocked and unattended for a little too long. In our green room, there were 2 big blue couches that were the most uncomfortable things I had ever sat on. The teacher comes running into the room from the hall and says, "Suddenly tequila! I think someone is in the green room. Go with me so I can have a witness." Thinking nothing of it, I go. We stand by the door, and someone is most definitely in there, making some pretty unusual sounds. I realize what this sound is a half second before the teacher throws the door open to 2 kids from my class getting down on that couch. I only had like 2 seconds of view before the teacher screams, "Good golly, Miss Molly," and slams the door. I sat outside that door crying from laughing for about 20 minutes before they knocked on the door to be let out, realizing we had a stage completely locked down. The look on their faces when the principal let them out and led them to his office will forever be in my mind. Can you imagine, balls deep, about to blow, from over your shoulder, "Good golly, Miss Molly." I dream of it sometimes and still wake up laughing. I hope that the guy and the girl that were going at it still keep in touch and reminisce about that story. Sounds like the perfect 10-year reunion story to share. And as a joke, screaming, "Good golly, Miss Molly," might be the funny thing to scream as one busts a nut. A bunch of guys from the athletics class got mad at a kid from mine for cheating during dodgeball, so they walked into the locker room effing naked and whipped him with towels. I just walk in and see someone's dong flopping around like a corrupted body part in a PlayStation 1 game before he leaps off the bench and goes ape on the guy. I noped the F out of there and waited in the hallway with everyone else. Before anyone asked why didn't I or anyone else help, the coaches were nowhere to be found, and we were scrawny freshmen against football and wrestling players in good shape. The guy eventually comes out drenched in sweat, calls us a-holes, and then kicked one of our backpacks. We had a kid that would strip down naked and dry hump girls. They let it happen until he bit someone hard enough to get stitches. So they built a big fence around the special education unit so that he couldn't get out. Problem was, the special education unit was along the main road, so cars would drive by and see the naked special ed kid in what was practically a giant dog run. To stop everyone seeing him naked, they covered the fence with a black shade cloth so that you couldn't see it. Yeah, again, I find this one hard to believe. You're telling me that staff and parents just allowed a kid, a special needs kid or not, to run around naked and assault girls? I doubt that this would be tolerated at all. Any self-respecting parent would put a stop to this the second the first dry humping incident occurred. Walked over to the local church where my buddy and resident school 100% were last seen. I start using a small flashlight because it was dark as and I heard rustling near some pine trees. I heard whispering, and being sober, I just flat out yelled, "If you two are effing, just let me know so I can turn around." Yeah, we are, but, My buddy Sean walks out, shirt covering his. "Could you go find me a condom, dude?" I walked back to the house, found a condom in my buddy's room, took it back, and laid it down where I got to see the 10 out of 10 naked. Thanks, bro. Now, this guy's a good friend, but riddle me this. Why was he out looking for his friend in the dark anyway? Was there some concern on part of the parents and a search party got called out or something? There were some solid opportunities to pull some funny pranks here too, and it's not every day that you find your friend naked and embarrassed in the woods. Walking in on people having intimate relations was not uncommon at house parties in high school. However, one time, this girl that I liked was at the same party I was at. She had been flirting with me quite a bit throughout the evening, but at one point she disappeared and was nowhere to be found. Trying to find a restroom, I stumbled into one of the bedrooms to find her getting gangbanged by 3 dudes. Walked out and breathed a huge sigh of relief for dodging that bullet.